Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask, Heidi. It's Tuesday, September the 24th. Today is National Punctuation Day, period. Or it would be exclamation point.
I don't know. Depends on how emphatic you are about it.
I'm very emphatic. Exclamation point. Bluebird of Happiness Day, Lash Stylish Day, National Horchata Day. That stuff is really good, by the way. World Bollywood Day, National Cherries Jubilee Day. Have we ever had Cherries Jubilee?
I don't think so.
That sounds good. We should have some of that. And
That
it is
sounds good.
Schwenkfelter Thanksgiving Day today.
What is that?
I think we talk about it every year when it's happening. So I'm going to Google it. But while I'm Googling it, I also want to remind...
Sounds naughty.
No, it's not naughty. While I'm Googling that, I'm also going to remind people it is a Tuesday. And that means we have Tuesdays with Charlie.
Yes, we do.
It says they swore their allegiance to the British king. Then they spent September 24th expressing their thankfulness to God for having delivered them from persecution.
Okay.
So it's the oldest
Schwenkfelters.
the oldest continually observed Thanksgiving event in the United States. So if you're a Schwenkfelder and you're celebrating Thanksgiving,
That's fantastic.
Today is your day.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Schwenkfelder or not.
Charlie has Parkinson's. Recently, Charlie started wearing a bracelet from VitaTech Healing.
I'm an avid golfer, and I was going to give it up this year. I just deteriorated that much. Now I'm back to golfing, enjoying it, having a good time. I just can't stress enough how good it is.
Click on radiosavings.com to hear more of Charlie's story and find out how VitaTech Healing is helping others with ADHD, fibromyalgia, autism, and more. Plus, find radio-only savings by clicking the link at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. A group of scientists say the research shows that you need a vacation and your life may depend on it.
Oh, my.
I have this in the show notes if you need to show the boss. A team from Australia decided to look into how travel and tourism positively affects human health. Among other benefits, they found that travel tends to place us outdoors in fresh air and sunlight. It requires us to walk and do other exercises that are more than we usually would do. It typically prevents us from overeating, and it exhausts us in ways that make sleep increase. These factors are vital to the self-repair and self-organization, anti-wear and tear systems as well. In addition to all of this good exposure to unfamiliar streets and customs and new environmental things, it like boosts your immune system and helps your brain. So there's a lot of good stuff going on.
I guess so.
Simply put, the self-defense system becomes more resilient. So what I'm saying is, according to these scientists, we all need a vacation. Yeah. Surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com.
If you want a better credit card, it can be easy and not so hard. BetterCreditCards.com. Earn more points and get more perks. Get what you're looking for in a card that works. BetterCreditCards.com. Give yourself a little credit. BetterCreditCards.com. Give yourself a little credit. BetterCreditCards.com.
That's bettercreditcards.com.
Did you know? Brought to you by GenesisGoldIRA.com. Did you know the more abdominal fat, Heidi, that you have, the more likely you are to deal with chronic pain in multiple areas of your body?
Yes,
according to
especially
researchers.
your lower back.
And according to my right knee.
And your knees, yeah, that is true.
In Tasmania found those with higher levels of abdominal fat have greater odds of reporting chronic pain all over. And multiple sites, your neck, your hips, your back, and your knees. Researchers theorize that sensitivity nerves and they can amplify signals throughout your body. Excess fat could cause increased stress on joints as well. So, yeah. We don't know everything, but I think we already knew this.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by radiosavings.com. Jennifer Lopez has her sights on a new pad. She and Ben broke up. I don't know if you remember that. But it's
I've heard
a famous,
thing or two about that.
Famous piece of LA real estate is now in her sights. $55 million is what she's looking at.
Well, it's sad that she's got to get a starter home again, but
Yeah, I
she'll
know.
bounce back.
Yeah, someday she'll have a nice place again. The estate served as a filming location for her movie Atlas, by the way, so she is familiar with the place. Another story about she and he, Jen and Ben, have reunited amid their divorce. The estranged couple was spotted having brunch together with their kids. So... are they
Well,
back
there's no
together?
reason they can't still be civil.
It says they were holding hands and kissing.
Oh, well, then maybe they are back
And the
together.
kids were at a separate table. So I don't know. Can you imagine? I don't know Ben, but if I did, I'd call him and say, "What are you doing?"
Yeah,
right.
Ben.
And
Come
a
on, man.
bombshell new report alleges the Duchess of Sussex terrifies her staff. We're talking about Meghan Markle. And if you want to read this whole story, it goes on and on and on. But it says Harry's a very charming person, but he's an enabler, and she is just terrible. If you want to read the whole story, it's in the show notes for
I don't
today.
think anybody's really very shocked by
Probably
that.
not. It's in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
Charlie has Parkinson's. He started wearing a bracelet from Vitatech Healing, and he's noticed a difference even while sleeping.
Once I got in bed, I couldn't roll over. I couldn't move. I was just whatever position I was in, just a chore to get out of bed. And now everything is so much better.
Click on radiosavings.com to hear more of Charlie's story and find out how Vitatech Healing is helping others with ADHD, fibromyalgia, autism, and more. Plus, find radio-only savings by clicking the link at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
Now your scoop of the day comes your way, courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com. Study found that 31% carry an extra pair of pants in their car. I probably should. Oh, have you never ruined your pants?
I have never needed a second pair of pants. Well, that's not entirely true.
Oh, I know that there are times.
There was one time.
Yeah, I remember you fell down going to a concert.
Oh, that's not the time I'm thinking. Remember the time we had to drive my pants out the window?
Oh,
on the
yeah,
way to
see,
an
there's
event?
another time. No, I remember a time our sister-in-law pushed you into
Yes,
a mud
she did.
puddle.
Yes,
she didn't
she
mean
did.
she did the Elaine push from
Yeah.
Seinfeld, but she didn't realize Heidi was a little apparently tipsy, and she
And
fell
I
in a
had
mud
heels
puddle.
on,
Yeah,
so-
it was not good. And you were so muddy at that concert. I was like, this looks like you climbed out of a dumpster.
It did.
And we were sitting in the third row. I'm like, this is just embarrassing. Moving on to the next story. With the recent trend toward traditional in-person matchmaking, rather than using dating apps, singles in Spain find love their own way in the local supermarket. First popularized on TikTok, those who are looking to meet someone special have been putting a pineapple upside down in their shopping cart between 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. at stores in the popular supermarket chain Mercadona.
There you go.
So I think that means something different in some
I
places.
think it does, yeah.
Doing so lets other singles know that you are available. You're single and ready to mingle.
Oh, yeah. Really,
invites them
really
to-
ready to mingle.
Bump their carts into yours. Then later, if both meet in the wine section, that means it's a match.
Okay.
Who knows all these rules? The grocery store operators are not big fans of the trend. They claim their staff is starting to hide the pineapples for that 1 hour period every day. It is catching on, though. Once police had to be called in due to an unruly crowd, and a German supermarket chain has now put the word out to their customers in Spain, inviting them to put a watermelon in their cart to show that they are available. They're like, hey, we're struggling to sell all these watermelons. Why don't you take those instead of the pineapples? We don't have as many. That is so odd.
But once you put it in your car, you have to buy it.
Yeah. I don't think it's a bad idea. I think it just could use some work. Look for the lady with melons in her cart. Okay, moving on. Scoop of the day comes your way, courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com.
Can your IRA or 401k stand up to the next financial crisis? By allocating a percentage of your retirement into physical gold and silver with a tax-free rollover, you can diversify and safeguard your holdings from turbulent markets and economic downturns. Safeguard your assets with a tax-free rollover with a Genesis Gold IRA, the only IRA that can hold physical precious metals. Protect your retirement today with a simple phone call and receive your free gold and silver guide. Call 1-800-200-GOLD or visit genesisgoldira.com.
It's time now for my favorite program, something we do every Tuesday just because we can. We reach out to my father-in-law for a little thing we like to call
Tuesdays with Charlie.
Tuesdays with Charlie on the John and Heidi Show.
And he's not in the studio. He's on the phone. Charlie, what are you doing?
We haven't been on the phone in a long time.
It's been
I
a
know.
long time.
It's so weird to not see you, but I got a feeling you're probably sitting there with a drink, aren't you?
How'd you know?
Because you always try to do that here. So I'm just saying. So
Yeah. Well, you got to have a drink when you got to talk to you.
I know. I drive people to drinking all the time. So what kind of good stuff do you have for us today, Charlie?
Well, it's kind of odd. Right off the top, you know what my first thing is?
What's that?
70% of Americans hate their jobs.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I am not
That's
one of those
sad.
people, by the way. I love my job.
I'm not either.
Good.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Charlie is retired now, so Congrats on that, by the way.
That's very
Well,
exciting.
yes, it is.
Well-
Hey, you know who the Beastie Boys are?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, musicians, yeah.
They coined the term mullet in their 1984 song Mullet Head.
I
Oh.
didn't know that.
I had no idea that's where that word came from.
It says no earlier use of the term mullet that refers to hairstyle has been found.
Well, that's pretty cool.
So they were the first ones.
Well, I didn't know that. I learned something new.
The wise men, the Beastie Boys.
Well, if you learned something, we might as well just end this right now then. 'cause
End on a high note.
That's the most we can expect right there. So
that's the top of the list right there.
I bet you got more.
Hey, there is a man in Sweden who received disability benefits for his addiction to heavy metal.
Really?
That's music, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Not iron.
So because he was addicted to music, he couldn't work? That's interesting.
He went to 300 concerts in 1 year, which left him unable to hold down a job.
Oh, well,
Oh,
I feel for this man. I don't feel bad for him, but I feel for him.
wow.
I think he's a maroon.
Yeah, that's insane.
You ever heard of Nude House?
No, what is
No?
It's a computer software company in UK.
that? Okay.
Okay.
They're seeking web developers. No clothes are allowed in the office.
Oh, that
Oh.
would be awful.
I'm just the kind of guy that would apply for that job.
Do you know how to do the job, Charlie?
Nope. Not a clue.
All right. That's what I wondered about.
Oh, man.
Hey, let's see. Okay, here. Apple and Facebook have said they will cover the cost of freezing the eggs of female employees who want to delay having a baby while they pursue their careers.
Kind of a nice perk, I
Yeah,
guess.
that's it. I've never heard of anybody doing that, but that's kind of
No.
cool.
I'm kind of doing this backward on my list, but that's all right.
It's just so weird to not have you in the room with us.
Well, I'm off balance here because I don't know what to do.
You miss being here is what's going on.
You think that's it?
I think that's it.
Now that
Well,
you're
maybe
retired,
next time I'll come up there then.
well, now that you're retired, you can move closer.
Hey, we
No,
have
we don't want to do that.
we have a guest room that you're welcome to stay in forever and for always.
Remember, I don't like you people.
I know. I knew that was coming.
I'll stare at your dogs, though.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you love the dogs.
Okay, because of Valentine's Day, March is the biggest month for pregnancy test sales.
Really?
I bet.
I suppose.
I bet.
Hey, then we got one last thing here for you.
All right, what do you got?
You know where New York, right?
Yeah.
I've heard of New York, yes.
One out of every 21 New Yorkers is a millionaire.
Really?
What?
1 out of every 21?
One out of every 21 New Yorkers is a millionaire.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Wow.
Is that
You
all
got
you...
a question for me?
Yeah, I was going to just say, is that all you got? But I've got it right here. All right, what percent of photocopier faults worldwide are caused by people sitting on the photocopier to photocopy their backside? What percentage, Shirley?
28%.
69.
28.
Charlie is way closer. It's 23%. 23% of all copier faults worldwide are caused by people doing that.
That's hilarious.
I was pretty close.
You were pretty
very
close.
close.
I've been looking for things that have the answer of 28, and I've been really struggling, but we'll do our
Well,
best.
There you go.
Charlie, it's always a pleasure to chat. It's way more fun when you're here, though.
Well, we might be up there more often now.
That would be awesome.
wonderful.
All right.
All right. Bye, Daddy.
Bye, Fluff. Bye, John.
Bye-bye. That's my father-in-law right there. We talk to him every Tuesday just because we can. It's a little program we like to call
Tuesdays with Charlie.
Charlie has Parkinson's. Recently, Charlie started wearing a bracelet from VitaTech Healing.
I'm an avid golfer, and I was going to give it up this year. I just deteriorated that much. Now I'm back to golfing, enjoying it, having a good time. I just can't stress enough how good it is.
Click on radiosavings.com to hear more of Charlie's story and find out how VitaTech Healing is helping others with ADHD, fibromyalgia, autism, and more. Plus, find radio-only savings by clicking the link at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Dueling is legal in Paraguay as long as both parties are registered blood donors. We've talked about that before. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
A UK company allows being hung over as a valid reason for missing work. You're
love
allowed 4 hungover days a year.
I love that.
That is just odd. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
I wonder if you have to prove you're hungover.
I don't
Or if
know.
you're just using it to get a free sick day.
What's going on? You're not really hungover. You're sick. You're just pretending to be hungover. All right. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The first ballpoint pen in America was sold for $12.50. That would be like $210
Holy
today.
cow.
Yeah. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
55% of people yawn within 5 minutes of seeing somebody else yawn. Yeah, now Heidi's yawning just thinking about yawning. And our final... Thank
sorry.
you. Final fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Over the last 150 years, the average height of people in industrialized nations has increased by 4 inches.
Yeah.
So we've gotten 4 inches taller in the last 150 years.
I've noticed that especially in the U.S. That
seems like a lot of kids these days are really tall. Several fun facts. Now you know. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
If you want a better credit card, it can be easy and not so hard. BetterCreditCards.com. Earn more points and get more perks. Get what you're looking for in a card that works. BetterCreditCards.com. Give yourself a little credit. BetterCreditCards.com. Give yourself a little credit. BetterCreditCards.com.
That's bettercreditcards.com.
Time now for the Mint Mobile question of the day. It comes your way, courtesy of mintervention.com. 34% of people admit that they have never cleaned this in their house. What is it? I wonder if we have.
I have no idea.
Curtains. Do we ever take our curtains down and wash
We
them?
haven't been in there very long
Yeah.
yet. But
It's been 2 years. I don't know how often you're supposed to wash it. We've only been there a decade. You know what? We've never lived in a house long enough to need to clean our
we
curtains.
haven't.
What is the home we lived in the longest? Probably in Brandon? Was that like 7 years? Like, that's the longest we've ever lived anywhere.
yeah,
I don't know.
probably.
I'm going to have to do the math. My math ain't mathin'. Mint Mobile question of the day comes your way, courtesy of mintervention.com.
Charlie has Parkinson's. He started wearing a bracelet from Vitatech Healing, and he's noticed a difference, even while sleeping.
Once I got in bed, I couldn't roll over. I couldn't move. I was just whatever position I was in, just a chore to get out of bed. And now everything is so much better.
Click on radiosavings.com to hear more of Charlie's story and find out how Vitatech Healing is helping others with ADHD, fibromyalgia, autism, and more. Plus, find radio-only savings by clicking the link at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
Now, some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. McDonald's Canada has unveiled what they are calling the perfect fall McFlurry. Fast food chain is offering for a limited time s'mores McFlurries. They say the new flavor takes their vanilla soft serve, when it works, and blends it with graham crackers and mini marshmallows and hot fudge, similar to what people would be serving over a roasted open campfire, except for there's no fire involved, and it doesn't sound bad. The food blogger Snackolocator, I don't know if I'm saying that right, shared a photo and a description of the new S'mores McFlurry on Instagram, calling it another McFlurry flavor that is both simple yet perfect, that some reason is not coming to the United States. Commenters quickly responded, asking McDonald's, why are you not bringing this flavor to the U.S.? It is in Canada, but it's not in the United States. So, I don't know. That sounds like a weird... Would you want a McFlurry that tastes like s'mores?
You know, it's not as weird as some of the flavors
Yeah,
you hear about.
that's true.
I mean,
Very
that's
true.
at least chocolate and
Yeah.
it's chocolate
At
and
least
graham
it's a real
crackers and
flavor.
marshmallow. So
Weird news.
that wouldn't be horrible.
Brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com.
John and Heidi.
Time now for the list, brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. Billboard unveiled their 2024 Songs of the Summer chart. So these are the songs of the summer from Memorial Day through Labor Day. The top 10.
Okay.
So I'm going to read these.
Is that from this year or just
yeah,
like
from
of all
this year.
time?
No,
Okay.
from this year. Number 10, Beautiful Things by Benson Boone. Birds of a Feather is 9, Billie Eilish. Lose Control, Teddy Swims. 7, Too Sweet by Hozier. Please, 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 Sabrina Carpenter. 5, $1 Million Baby, Tommy Richmond. 4, Espresso, Sabrina Carpenter. Number 3, Not Like Us, Kendrick Lamar. 2, A Bar Song or Tipsy by Shabuzi. And the number 1 is I Had Some Help, Post Malone and Morgan Wallen. 14 weeks at number 1. By the way, last year, the number 1 song was Morgan Wallen's Last Night. So Morgan Wallen apparently is the guy to
doing
sing
well.
the song of the summer,
There you
according
go.
to that list. The list brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com.
Can your IRA or 401k stand up to the next financial crisis by allocating a percentage of your retirement into physical gold and silver with a tax-free rollover? You can diversify and safeguard your holdings from turbulent markets and economic downturns. Safeguard your assets with a tax-free rollover with a Genesis Gold IRA, the only IRA that can hold physical precious metals. Protect your retirement today with a simple phone call and receive your free gold and silver guide. Call 1-800-200-GOLD or visit genesisgoldira.com.
Time now for the quote of the day. It comes your way courtesy of radiosavings.com. Our quote today is from Abba Eben, who says, "History teaches us that men, nations, and the world behave wisely when they exhaust all other options."
That is true. I
Yeah,
would
it
agree
is
with that.
Yeah. There are times that I do behave wisely, and usually it is after behaving unwisely for a long time. Then I'm finally like, I should probably get my...
I should get my stuff together.
Yeah, get everything. I should clean up this mess. Pretend like I didn't do any of this. All right. Quote of the day comes your way, courtesy of radiosavings.com.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. It comes your way courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com. And our good news story today, I think this is a great story, by the way, comes from New Orleans, Louisiana, where a man was trapped in a submerged truck on live TV, but an off-duty ER nurse dives into the water to save him. So this happened way back on September 11th. Miles Crawford, an off-duty ER nurse in Lakeview, Louisiana, leapt into action when he learned somebody was trapped in a submerged pickup truck caught in floodwaters 200 feet from his home. Around 8:45 in the evening. So there's a photo on here, but it's kind of dark because it's like nighttime. He got a text from his brother who had been watching the news. He informed him that, hey, there's news crews covering a breaking story kind of close to your house. There's a guy stuck in a vehicle. Without hesitation, Crawford ran to the scene, passing a police car and the news reporter who was pleading with the officer for help. The truck was already half submerged in the canal. As Crawford approached the submerged truck, a police officer warned him about the perilous conditions. It's not safe. It's too deep, the officer said.
What?
Despite the warning, Crawford made a split-second decision to take matters into his own hands. He said, I do not blame the officer. If I were in his shoes, I probably wouldn't have gone alone without backup either. But I figured if I go in, at least I'll be there to help, and they're here to help if something goes wrong.
Right.
Realizing he needed a tool to break the window, he sprinted back to his house, grabbed a hammer, and plunged into the chest-high floodwaters.
Oh, my gosh.
Got to the vehicle. The situation was dire. The water had reached the driver's chin. Time was running out. Crawford instructed the man to move to the back of the truck, where then the water was shallower back there. Then he smashed the window out, and he was able to save this guy. And 10 minutes later, by the way, the truck was completely submerged.
Oh, my gosh.
If he had not gotten there when he had gotten there, things could have gotten bad. Crawford said his background as an ER nurse helped him stay calm throughout this entire thing. He said, I'm used to high stress, high, levels of things on a daily basis. So they're like, how did you deal with this? He's like, it was nothing. I do this all the time.
You should always have something in your car that can break a window.
Absolutely. You probably should have that available somewhere. I've got a link to this story in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show.